Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, well, happy Friday, everybody. Here we go now, coasting right on into the weekend. And after a fairly long week of North Texas weather, we've definitely got quieter and better weather on the way heading into the weekend. This is definitely a forecast I think you're going to like. The temperature trend is up and we've got a lot of bright sunshine on the way, but there could be some weather changes on down the road. Could there be any weather complications? We'll talk about that again coming up. But otherwise, a lot of bright sunshine today. You're going to like that. High temperatures in the 60s, mid 60s. You're going to like that. The only drawback as we go through the afternoon, it's going to be fairly breezy. It's going to be a very dry westerly wind, but that westerly wind could easily gust over 20 miles per hour. The reason why, you can see that blue line, it's a Pacific cold front, and so it's coming in from the west, obviously behind it a westerly wind, and it's actually still attached to our same storm system that brought us the heavy rain event, not last night, but the night before. And really the same storm system we've really been talking about all week. We had been waiting for it to come out of the desert southwest. Well, it's currently moving up into parts of the Midwest, and again, kind of in its wake, if you will. You can see that Pacific cold front just kind of trailing down into the southern plains, into North Texas. Again, Pacific cold front, no real cold air with it. It's essentially a drier air mass. It's almost like a dry line, again, with the westerly wind, the humidity, again, coming off the deserts of New Mexico, coming off the high plains here. Again, basically just pushing in an air mass that has a little bit less humidity, but the humidity theoretically is already actually pretty low, and so it's not really going to be a noticeable air mass change as we go through the day. So a lot of details kind of for a simple point. It's going to be breezy, but eventually this afternoon the winds will die down, and then the southerly winds return for the weekend. And I tell you what, like I mentioned, the weekend forecast really looking good. We are going to be talking about it, I think, as we get into the first part of next week, even some 80 showing up on the board. We'll talk about that again momentarily. But there goes that storm system. Again, it's really taking its time over the last couple of days, but as we get into tonight, tomorrow, it really begins to hightail it off to the east. And then again, heading into the weekend, heading into the first part of next week, I'm just going to let this play. This is the future jet stream, and we're looking for any kinks in the jet stream. And at least right now, over the next 7 days or so, nothing is showing up. This is a west to east zonal pattern. So again, to the north of this, all the cold air remains bottled up across parts of Canada. I can tell you in about 7 to 10 days, we're at least getting some data coming in showing there could be a bit of a buckle, again, what we call a storm trough, allowing a cold front down into the southern plains. So not this weekend, but the following weekend, that could be the next opportunity of temperatures trending down, not a big Arctic blast, temperatures trending down, and maybe an opportunity of some rain as well. But otherwise, between now and then, I mean, literally from this weekend through all of next week, these are rainfall projections. I had to zoom this out to even find anything to show up, right? So again, by this upcoming weekend, it's a low-end opportunity in North Texas. Otherwise, again, around the Lone Star State, over the next 7 days, this appears to be a relatively dry forecast going forward. Into the weekend, it's essentially what you see is what you get, a lot of bright sunshine, and again, temperatures slowly but surely building as we go through the weekend. Now, looking out over the next 14 days, this is what I'm talking about from the Climate Prediction Center. Again, you can see some blue showing up. So again, in about 10 to 14 days, temperatures may begin to trend back down below normal. That would be the middle part of February, but like I mentioned, we have a lot of time between now and then to really enjoy some good weather going forward. So today, speaking of that good weather, again, bright sunshine, highs in the 60s. Again, a little breezy as we go through the afternoon, but the winds will begin to taper off by the middle parts of the day. This would be your Friday evening. Again, if you're maybe trying to step out this evening, this is definitely doable with temperatures easing down essentially through the 50s. Fair skies, winds definitely becoming lighter by this evening, so no real weather complications. And then overnight tonight, we're basically down in the 40s, so it's a chilly night, yes, but not overly cold. And that's how we start our Saturday. And then as we progress through our Saturday, temperatures are basically off to the races, continuing to build 60s, even some 70s. Check that out in our western counties. And as we go through the weekend, you can see, yes, 70s on the board locally in the Metroplex. We continue to build that even into Sunday. Look at Monday, daytime high right around 80. We might have one more 80 on the board by this upcoming Wednesday. So this upcoming week looks good. There it is the following weekend, kind of that low end rain and storm chance. And you can see eventually temperatures trying to trend back down.